and behind me is the field of banana plots, and it's very beautiful. I prefer not going from this route since it's so much grassy, so there may be chances of some kind of serpents or reptiles, so better to avoid it and choose the way. Road not taken. Not always we should choose the road not taken. Sometimes we have to choose the conventional way also, because sometimes it's good for us to choose what others have did already, and there is a complete road here and which will made up of concrete and coal tar, and we will be choosing the grassy road just because we have read some poem, road not taken, that we should choose what we feel. But there may be chances that in this season the serpents, the reptiles are present there, so they would attack us and harm us, so it is better that we choose this conventional road. So it's pretty good time. Flowers. I was already always wondering about, like, if we are rearing the honeybees, then definite plants that we have to grow will be the creepers of these varieties, then this bottle brush tree, where I'm continuously observe, wherever I have observed it, have seen that honeybees or some kind of insects being attracted to that fragrance or that plant, since the oozing nectary liquid from these flowers. And then there is this sunlight is there. Still summer has not yet arrived much, so for that reason there is a favorable kind of environment is there, not too much harsh sunlight is there, and that is what is benefiting to us. So I was planning that so many things are getting into my mind, that is why not to restore the glass house that is present just besides the horticulture department. Yeah, correct. And to restore the glass house in similar way that it is present in Ooty, Mysore botanical garden, with continuously there will be flowers of different kinds and nursery and everything, and it will be just a very beautiful place to visit. Continuous different kinds of flowers will be there present, and it will all be managed by the students. And then next thing that I want to discuss is lotuses and water lily, that I'm always thinking of planting it right in front of my hostel also, and if sir gave permission, then why not here at horticulture also. So in that way we would definitely get the lotuses bloom and thrive it, and the history will be always there. Forget about history, but it still looks good. And then we have this Vruksha, the magnificent tree, banyan tree, which is still younger version of most of the that we had seen. But looking at the growth, those, it is not a single tree, two trees have mingled and then they have formed that canopy. And then here at engine department, which is most well maintained in terms of flowers and all. Right, so flowers and all are very well maintained, and the head of department has also said that yes, we will definitely provide you the tubers, the bulbs of water lily for you to grow it, and that is really good thing, and we'll definitely look for chances of how we can grow it, and we'll soon bring some. What we require is we have that container, we need some cow dung, we need some soil, potting soil, that is compost and everything, and then we need some what do you say, muddy soil, we need compost, vermiculture and vermi compost and everything, and just try to make mud kind of thing. And once it is made, then we could just plant the bulbs and it will fill it completely with the water up to the brim, and it will just bloom very beautifully, and that's what we want. Before going to hostel, let me show you this huge onion field is there. Yeah, so these are for, so wherever you see these flowers of onions, then definitely that is for the collection of seeds. Actually two ways onions are planted. First one is when you have to get seeds, you have to plant the bulbs, the onions, and when to get the onions, you have to sow the seeds, right? That is this how it works. And very soon the parcel of from Ugau store of Xenia double seeds will arrive. I've received that parcel at a good discount rate. I hope it's good. It's 100 rupees, and the reviews are also good, that it grows into beautiful flowers also, and that is a really good thing for it, because I want to get collection of zinnias and just get it bloomed, variety of zinnias and all plants. And then chrysanthemums are of course one of my favorites. Different blooms of chrysanthemums, beautifully growing, beautifully maintained, right? And then just yesterday night, that is today morning only, we could say around 2 or 3 p.m. 3 a.m. 3 o'clock in the morning, I just ordered the books that I wish to always have. First one is that Vanaushidhi Gunadarshan, recommended by the Nisarga Mitra, right? To get to understand the different health benefits or Ayurvedic or medicinal properties of different herbs that are always present around us, which is a famous book. And then another one is of another 3 books are of Ravi Singh Chaudhary, the author that I had met for 2 years ago while discussing about the Vrukshayurveda, right? The journey of Vrukshayurveda started even before entering into the college, and that is really a fascinating thing. Actually, Vrukshayurveda is very fascinating work of Surapala, and then the Rishi Parashara is there, Brath Samhita is there, variety of works is there. I was just wondering if we could experiment on different methodologies and techniques shown and described in the Vrukshayurveda. So to get more clarity about the subject, I have ordered these books. And then meanwhile there is Dialectical Rishi, another book, and then another is Rishi Intelligence. The author and the review is, author is well known to me. He is a very good person, expressed good, and the reviews about his writings and his books are also really good. So with blindfolded eyes, I have ordered all these 3 books and will be reading it soon. So what fascinating is, where is that tree? Okay, yeah, Dichotoma. It was species of Dichotoma that was producing the fruits, colored fruits of pigments, various pigments that we wanted to make some solution and preparation for making some dye and food grade lipsticks that as we had seen. So actually the seeds are there. But the thing about this is whether they are I've collected the seeds the other day. I just kept them in the box, in little container, but after some time I noticed that the dye color has changed and it has become dark. Also the smell, it gave a not foul but a fermented kind of smell from the fruits. Maybe that process was getting started. And similarly happened with the fruits of Malabar spinach, the Vaudanga, which we call in Marathi, which is used as vegetable, and also the fruits are used for making dye purposes. So this is very fruitful time though. Actually I'm very not confused but very eager and excited to learn as much as possible to learn to produce the Jivamrut, the Bijamrut, then there is various forms of arka, then growing vegetables, farmings, etc, etc. I'm too excited to have these things done, and I cannot just sit idle at these things. I have to just continuously go on finding some ways to learn different things, since only 1 year is left and I cannot spend even a day without learning anything. And there is actually the other day I was discussing with my friend Ram about the method of irrigation, like pivot irrigation is there, pivot irrigation in the areas where large number of fields, are there, huge area is covered. So in that case, pivot irrigation is carried out, where that machinery is used for irrigation purposes, and a similar concept, but I think low cost is there. I have found it, and that is that circular irrigation is there. Circular irrigation, which means that right. So circular irrigation means the food crops or whatever the vegetable crops will be grown in circular manner, and then there is a pole, a pipe that is at the center of the circle, and at the radius there will be another pipe from which holes at different points the sprinkle type of irrigation will be provided to the whole circle area. And in that way, if any fertilizer is to be given, or even the Jivamrut, and that will work the best way. So keeping the soil moist at all the time, and that would also help to replenish the soil, regain the virality, the fertility of the soil, and in that way it will help not only the soil but also the vegetables also to grow. So for any spraying of fertilizer or anything, there is no need for manual entry. There would be a rotating motor that will be fitted at that pole at the center, and it will, as you started, it will just rotate, and with that same RPM speed, it will just spread that whatever sprinkler fertilizer is there, or whether something else is there, in the form of moist or little sprinkling water, not too much moist and all. So in that way it will be very beneficial, right? Let's see how much practical viability of this technique is, and whether, I think this technique is already followed in some areas, but I had not seen it much, or maybe even if I had seen, I don't remember it. This just came out of nowhere into my mind about this technique, and then Ram has told me that yes, this works, and there is automated sprayers, also sprinklers, and we are behind cultivating, we are behind building a polyhouse structure for some reasons, and for growing our own food rather than depending. And then so many things I have to do with farming. All that is hovering around me is about farming. So the most important thing and mission that I have to do is to tackle the problem of water scarcity that is available in our region. That is particularly Marathwada and then Vidarbha, but Marathwada is enough for taking the name of water scarcity, So yeah, we are those cactuses that we grow in conditions of unfavorability, water scarcity and all. We are the same cactuses, and still we provide the fleshy juice, and that is a great quality of Marathwada though. And growing polyhouses, then producing ample food, that is my very specific and fixed goal, that the food stuff that we are having should never be brought from the outside. So the fruits, I will have all sorts of fruit trees planted in my own field. So in that way the seasonal fruits will be available to me at whatever time and whatever quantity I need. For example, there is now mango season is there, I would get mangoes since it's grown in my own field. If there is season of guava, then if season of bear, then different seasons, so you'll get that fruit instantly without having to go for markets and all. Actually, I take it not just as trees, but instead they are just the sources of wealth. I consider all these fruit crops and flowering things as a wealth. You are having an immense wealth of nature, that is, you have to just water it and care it. The Vrukshayurveda specifically, the Upaman specifically mentions that while giving the water to the trees, you should not measure the quantity of water that is given to the trees. Whatever the amount of water is required for the better growth of that tree, that amount should be provided by the owner, and at that phase or that time the quantity is not to be checked. how much water is to be given to the trees, right? So that is a very clear indication that we have to care for the trees, not as a part-time thing, but as a full-time caring of living creature, and investing as much as we could. And then there is Jivamrut, and then so many things are there. And then there question comes that if we are taking whole care with wholeheartedly all the techniques and uh, methods and then rules, we are following everything, then why would they not grow into beautiful ones? The reason is, yes, they would definitely grow. They would definitely grow. And that is how. Actually, at one point there is also mentioned that the leaves of two trees should not touch each other. But then now modern day there is method of Miyawaki method of plantation. Miyazaki is different, that is a species of mango, and Miyawaki is different method. So what I was wondering is, this Miyawaki method says that dense plantation of the local trees so that they would grow better way, and there is faster growth, and which creates a denser a forest type of vibes. So I have no objection. Instead, if it works is very well, so I have to just check the thing that where Vrukshayurveda says there should be no touching of leaves, and the distance should be maintained of different trees, and here we are planting dense trees. So what I think is, if we are getting dense plantations, the quality of trees is not getting as we desired, which means that for example, the stem of the tree or the trunk or the girth will be very slow, and then due to the dominating trees which will cover the canopy, the sunlight would not pass to the lower levels, and that way they won't grow as much as possible and as per the expectations. So that is yet another thing that I have been thinking of, and very soon I will be just going through different aspects of Vrukshayurveda as given as more cleared, specifically explained by author Ravi Singh Chaudhary. He is a good author, and most of his works I like it. And I'm just seeing more and more towards this practicality and this ancient methods of Vrukshayurveda, and then tree protection, and then Taru Chikitsa is there. So many things are there, yeah. So many things are there. And nature is full of wonders, and just every tree has some special story to be told, since every one of them has living beings. So I was also thinking of, like, for the growing trees, if we could just bend them for the tender stems, and then shape them, and then modify, then there is pruning methods, then it would just, all of them would grow beautifully into good gardens and good trees, right? Of course. So you don't necessarily have to like give it to the fate of the nature. You can just control the way they will grow, and just control that they will have a good lush green canopy, instead of just having ample of branches near to the ground level. We just cut and prune the branches, and we could just elevate them so that the canopy raises further higher. And then I'm just badly wanting to plant lotuses. That urge of planting lotus is serious, and the tubers that I would getting, it's little bit costly though, but still I'm hoping that yes, I would definitely buy, since two lotus seeds have already germinated successfully in my water. The and the rooting is also being seen. So I'm planning that once I will go to market, I'll bring more of these lotus seeds, do the scarification, and then use and throw it in the water for growing and germinating. So planting seeds is very good. Sowing seeds is very good. Bye. So let us discuss about different things in our next episode. Bye.